Hi, I'm Jean Boone from the Central Branch of the Howard County Library System. Thanks for joining me today for Preschool Parade. This is a class designed for ages 2 to 5, and we're going to share some stories and songs and rhymes that help build school readiness skills. So as you can see, I'm recording this at home, which means that I won't get to see your smiling faces. But the good thing is that you can pause and take a break anytime you'd like. And you can also go back in this recording to your favorite parts and play them over and over again. So let's get started today with a hello and welcome song. This is one you might have heard in some other Howard County online classes. And the words are right here beside me, but we're also going to do the American Sign Language that goes along with those words. So let me show you what those signs are. Hello is a salute like this from your forehead. Friends, we're going to clasp our fingers like they're giving each other a hug. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time, tap your wrist where you might have a watch, to say, touch your chin and pull out, hello. Alrighty? So let's try singing it. Let's do it twice. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, hello. I'm so glad that we can be together this way today. So we're going to have a lot of fun today from our heads all the way down to our toes. Right. And an early learning tip I'd like to share with the grown-ups out there is to have fun playing games with your children that name the body parts. It's a great way to build your child's vocabulary and also give them the language they need to describe and communicate how their body is feeling. So let's do that right off the bat with an old favorite, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. You probably know this one. We get to name a lot of body parts here. Head. Know where that is? Where are your shoulders? Shoulders, knees, middle of your legs, and toes all the way down at the ground. And then we're going to point to our eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Okay, now this is an action song, so we're going to have to stand up. Are you ready? Stand up with me. Let's get ready to sing it and move. Here we go. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. I've got eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Okay, now we've got the hang of it. Let's go a little faster. You ready? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. I've got eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Oof, good job. That was a workout. Now have a seat and let's catch our breath. That was a fun one. So we're going to start at the very tops of our bodies today. And we just touched that part. What is it? Our heads. Heads are on the top. So, and on top of our heads, sometimes we wear something. What do you put on your head? A hat. Have you ever worn a hat? I'm sure you have. Well, there are all kinds of hats in the world. So let's see, if you are a person who plays baseball, you might wear a hat like this. You can see I'm an Orioles fan. If you're a person who builds things, you might wear a hat like this. It's a hard hat to protect your head. And if you are a person who wants to sail on the wild seas and search for treasure, you might wear a hat like this. Yo ho ho, I'm a pirate. And if you want to go outside in the snow to play on a cold day, or a cold autumn day like today, you might want to wear a hat like this. Ooh, it's cozy and warm. Covers my ears. This is a good cozy hat. Do you have a hat like that? Well, I want to share with you a fantastic book you can borrow from the library about hats called Whose Hat Is This? It's by Susan Katz Cooper. And what's fun about it, it's a guessing game. So the author shows you a bit of some hat, like this one, and asks you to guess who it belongs to. This red and shiny hat would be worn by who? You have a guess? Well, I'm not going to tell you who it is. You're going to have to check the book out if you want to find out, and there are lots of others to guess as well. So I'll explain at the very end of the class how you can request library books and put them on hold. Okay, I have one more interesting hat with me, and this one is pretty unusual, I think. It's a kind of hat that was worn a long time ago in colonial times. Here it is. That's what it looks like when I put it on. And what's interesting about it is it has 3 corners. It's an odd shape, isn't it? Let's count the corners. 1, 2, and the third one is down here in the front, 3. What shape does that remind you of? Do you know a shape that has 3 corners? Did you say triangle? Yes, a triangle has 1, 2, 3 corners too. So this hat is sort of like a triangle. And there's a very silly song about a hat with 3 corners that I wanted to teach you while I wear mine, of course. So let me turn this around so we can see the words. It goes like this, and it has some motions that we're going to do along with the words. My hat, it has 3, 1, 2, 3 fingers, corners. We're going to point to our elbow. Why do you think we're going to use this body part, our elbow, as the motion for corner? Well, look, it's sort of like the corner of your arm, isn't it? And watch, if I put my hand up on my shoulder and my elbow is down here, it sort of forms a triangle, with the elbow being one corner and each shoulder is the other corners, just like my hat. So 3 corners, 3 corners has my hat. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be my hat. It's a silly song. And it's even more fun when we do the motions, and as we sing it, each time we do it, we're going to take away one of the words and just do the motion. It's a little tricky. Let's give it a try with all the words first. Here we go. My hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my hat. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be my hat. Did you get all that? Okay, now we're going to stop saying the word my and just point to ourselves like this. Hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has hat. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be hat. Now we're going to take away the word hat too and just point to our head. Okay? It has 3 corners. 3 corners has. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be. Now it gets really tricky. We're going to leave out my, hat, and 3. Ready? It has corners. Corners has. And had it not corners, it would not be. All right, this time all 4 words. Let's see if we can get through it. It has. Has. And had it not, it would not be. Good job. Let's do it one more time with all the words just to remember what that's like. My hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my hat. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be my hat. All right, enough of this 3-cornered hat. I'm going to put that away. And now it's time for a story. So while I get my things ready to tell this story, you can get your body ready for listening. Let's start with our ears. Get your ears to be open and your mouth to be quiet and your hands to be calm in your lap. All right, so you're all ready, and I think I'm ready too. And this story is called The Rain Hat. It's a fold and tell story. It's been told in many different ways, and I'm going to give you some directions afterwards so that you could tell this story too. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Eliana, and she wanted to go outside to play, but it was raining. She was so disappointed. Her mother would not let her go outside and get wet. And she had nothing to play with inside, nothing but a single sheet of newspaper. What could she do with that would be any fun? Well, she took that piece of newspaper and turned it this way and that. She folded it in half, and then she folded it in half again. And then she folded down one side to make a triangle, and she folded down the other side to make another triangle. And then she folded up the bottom once and twice. She turned it over and folded up the other side once and twice. And then she looked at what she had, and it was a rain hat. So she put it on her head and asked her mother if she could go out and play. Her mother said, "Well, sure, your rain hat will keep you dry." So Eliana ran outside to splash in the puddles. She was having such fun when suddenly a fire engine went zooming down her street, to a fire right down the road. Well, Eliana liked to be a helper, so she took off her rain hat and she folded it a few more times. She folded one end up and one end out until she had a firefighter's helmet. And she put it on her head and ran down the street to help the firefighters put out the fire. They sprayed all kinds of water on that fire, and before long, it was all put out. Phew, good news. But when Eliana looked around, she saw that now there was a flood. Because of all the rain and all the water from the fire hoses, the road now looked like a river, and the water was rushing down. How could she get home? Well, she took off her firefighter helmet and she folded it again and again until she had a hat that looked like a pirate hat. She was ready for the wild seas. But just a hat is not enough for that, is it? She needed a boat. So she took her hat and she pulled out the edges until it made a fantastic boat, and she jumped right into it. And soon the boat started bobbing and floating right down the street. Pretty soon they came to a hill, and the boat went zipping down through the waves of the water, faster and faster until it ran, boom, right into the mailbox. Oh no, the front of her boat got smashed right to bits. But it kept floating, and Eliana was such a brave and skilled captain that she kept control of the boat. But the water was tossing and turning the boat and making it go this way and that until one end flipped around and went smash right into a parked car. Oh no, the back end of her boat was torn off. But the boat kept floating, and Eliana stayed in it as it rushed all the way down the hill to the bottom of the hill where it ran right into a tree and tipped over, and the top of the boat went smash. Oh, and Eliana was dumped right out of the boat into the water. Do you think she was in trouble? Is she going to be safe? Well, Eliana was not worried because she had put on her life jacket and she floated with her life jacket on all the way home. The end. That was a pretty amazing adventure to have with just one sheet of newspaper, wasn't it? Well, I can show you how you can do this at home and make a bunch of different kinds of hats and a boat and a life jacket too, and have an adventure like Eliana's. And I'm going to share that with you at the end of this class. So good listening. I hope you had fun with that too. So many hats. Well, we've been talking all about the things that are at the top of our body on our heads. And now let's go to the opposite end and do something fun with our feet. So I wonder what you wear on your feet. Do you have on shoes today, or slippers, or boots? How about socks? Do you have on socks? I have on some silly socks. Wait till you see. Here are my silly socks. And I'm going to share with you a funny song, kind of a game that we can play with these socks, and you can play with your socks. We put up the words here. There we go. And the words go like this. On my feet, I wear my socks. They are very silly socks. Now my feet wiggle waggle to and fro. Where else could my silly socks go? And then we can move our socks around to different body parts. It goes to the tune of This Old Man. So let's sing it together. You ready? Get your toes ready to wiggle. On my feet, I wear my socks. They are very silly socks. Now my feet wiggle waggle to and fro. Where else could my silly socks go? Take that sock off my foot and think about where else I could put it. Well, I could put it on my hands. On my hands, I wear my socks. They are very silly socks. Now my hands wiggle waggle to and fro. Where else could my silly socks go? Do you have an idea? Where should we put them next? What if we put the socks on our ears? Can you do that? Whoop. I think I have to hold it on. Let's try that. On my ears, I wear my socks. They are very silly socks. Now my ears wiggle waggle to and fro. Where else could my silly socks go? Do you have another idea? You could keep playing this game at home as long as you like. I bet you could come up with a lot of fun places to put them. Like maybe you could put them on your shoulder, on your elbow, on your head. That would be too silly. Well, I'm going to put mine back on my foot because my toes are very cold. Well, we've now had fun from our head all the way down to our toes. So I'm going to share with you some books that you might want to check out from the library. All you need to do is go to our website, hclibrary.org, and put in the titles, and then you can request them using your library card barcode and PIN number, and ask that they be sent to the most convenient branch for you. And when they've arrived, you'll get an email, and you can set up an appointment time to go and pick them up. You can also find lots of other great resources on our website, including electronic books and games and lots of other online classes. So be sure to check out all of those things. And now I'm going to show you some books that I think you might enjoy involving hats and heads and toes and all kinds of fun body parts. So let's see. Here they are. Now, this one in the corner, oh, you can see whose hat is this? The one I talked about earlier, right there in the center. And then up here with the big gorilla is a fun book by Eric Carle, From Head to Toe. That is an action book. You can do all kinds of movements and make your body do things that lots of, like various animals. So that's really fun. And to add to the action, you could check out the CD that I have up there next to it, Literacy in Motion. This CD has songs that have been written to go along with various picture books. So there is a song on this CD that was written just to have fun with the book From Head to Toe. They go together. So you could read the book and then you could do the song. And then there are a bunch of other fun picture books related to hats on this page. Caps for Sale is one of my all-time favorites. This is a classic, which involves a peddler who sells caps, and he wears them on the top of his head in a very big stack. But one day when he sits down against a tree to take a nap, when he wakes up, his hats are gone, and he has to figure out who has taken his caps and how to get them back. It's very funny. I'm not going to give you a hint about who might have taken them. But you will see in these other books, like The Scarecrow's Hat and The Hat by Jan Brett, that there are a lot of animals out there who get into mischief with other people's hats. So those are also very fun stories. And Millie's Marvelous Hat has some beautiful pictures and a wonderful story about a girl who's got an amazing imaginary hat. And as she walks around town, she shares that hat with everyone she passes by. And here are some other books you could check out. Several board books, especially for the younger ones among you. Whose toes are those? Whose knees are these? And I know my body parts are all great ways to match the word with a body part and to build that vocabulary. And then in the corner, we have a board book of head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So you could read the book and do the song at the same time. And then over here is a DVD from Sesame Street, Elmo's World, called Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, with lots of fun learning activities and songs related to bodies. And the We Sing Silly Songs. We Sing is a great series. There are lots of different CDs in this series. This one, Silly Songs, contains a CD with many, many silly songs, including My Hat, It Has Three Corners, and also a book that includes the musical notes and words. So if you want to learn to sing those songs yourself, you have the book with them. So that is also a very fun thing to check out. So look for all of those things at hclibrary.org. And here are the directions for the rain hat. If you would like to know how to use a piece of newspaper to make all those different kinds of hats, like our hero, Eliana, and as well as a boat, you can take a screenshot of this page or go to the website that's listed at the bottom and download it yourself. So I hope you'll have some fun with that this week. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share and bring us back to say goodbye. I'd like to do it with a wave rhyme by Rob Reed that gives us another chance to name lots of body parts. Are you ready? Wave high, wave low, way down here by your toes. I'm sad to say it's time to go. Wave your elbows. Where are your elbows? Here they are. Wave your toes. Silly toes. Wave your tongue. Wave your nose. Wave your knees. Wave your lips. Blow a kiss with your fingertips. Wave your ears. I have to help mine. Wave your hair. Wave your belly and derriere. That's the French word for your bottom. You wiggle a little. Wave your chin. Wave your eyes. Wave your hand and say goodbye. Goodbye, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions about this class, feel free to send an email to askhcls@hclibrary.org and mention Preschool Parade. I'll show you that address in a minute. Thanks again for being with me today. Bye.